Do you like outdoor cooking when you're traveling with your off-road camper? And do you sometimes think that it would be nice to have a bit more space and a bit more practicality for that? Well, we had the same challenge. We love to cook outside and to live outside when we're traveling with our camper. At the same time, it was always a little bit inconvenient to carry things from the inside to the outside. So we designed this outdoor kitchen, specifically this slide-out DIY kitchen. And if you are interested in finding out how to build such a slide-out system, then I suggest you watch this video. Hello and welcome back to Sandfire Overland. In this video, we will share with you how we will replace our existing outdoor kitchen on our European car, which we call Rocky, with a more convenient and more reliable version. As you might have seen in some of our videos, we have installed an outdoor kitchen at this car. And the special thing about this kitchen is that it is accessible from the outside as well as from the inside. Usually we cook outside, we live outside when we're traveling with our car. But sometimes, of course, you have really bad weather. And then it's convenient to have access to all your kitchen equipment from the inside. If we look at the outdoor kitchen, we have a special hatch here, which you can open. And then we have here two layers of drawers for food preparation, first one and then the second one. On the second one we have this bag where all our pots and pans and glasses and everything is in here, and utensils. That usually we take out and put somewhere else. And next to our outdoor kitchen we have this little foldable table where we usually put our gas cooker and prepare our meals. So we have plenty of space out here. We have, of course, an awning, so we also have shade and also protection from some rain. We have the Road Chef 12-volt oven. Although we must say we haven't really used it much because it takes forever to heat anything up. You really need to change your whole cooking habits by putting things in the morning when you start, so it's ready for lunchtime or something like this. We will replace this. It's not something that works for us, and we will put some storage in here. Then we have this drawer where we have space for some food like noodles and coffee and stuff like this. And the nice thing is this one also is removable into the inside, so we can access everything which is in here from the inside, as well actually as the bag, because we can remove the door from the other side and then have access also to everything which is in here. Another funny thing is which we installed is this little box here. It's from an aircraft. It's actually, we bought it from the remains of the Norwegian Airways. Very handy, lots of space for food specifically, and very convenient and very stable and very safe to store. So overall, the idea of having an outdoor kitchen really resonates with us. We have now tested this for 2 years. It works quite well, but still we find there's some room for optimization. So as I mentioned, we will replace the oven because it doesn't work for us, and we also want to get rid of the bag. We think it's not really always convenient because you have to put it somewhere. So what we will do is we will replace the oven with some storage. We can put pots and pans in here. We will also replace the drawers and create room to put some stuff inside some drawers in there. And that will help us then replacing this large bag with a relatively small round bag. Still, things will be accessible from the inside. That's very important to us. And we will have a little bit more stability in the system because we found that, for example, with these stoppers, after 2 years of off-road traveling and really harsh environments, it's loosening up. It's a little bit inconvenient. Also, I made a mistake when I initially bought it and built it, and the mistake was that I didn't take drawer systems with stoppers. So we always have to fix them, and it is really difficult. Same here. So we want to really have stoppers there to make it more durable and to avoid that things are moving around like they are doing at the moment. So I will start this process now. I ordered all the material, and over the next few days I will replace everything, starting now with dismantling it. the dismantling has been very fast. As usual, it's much faster to dismantle something than to build it. And everything here has been removed. The only issue is now this one aluminium profile, which has been fixed from that side. And when I did this, we didn't have the inverter sitting there. In the meantime, we changed this and the inverter is there, which means I cannot access the screw, which is on the back side, to loosen it. So I will need to use some force, take out my jigsaw with a metal blade and cut it somewhere here. That should work, although it's not ideal. And as I said, I have already ordered all the material. I have aluminium profiles of different sizes. I have connectors to it. So this time I will not use systems where I need a lot of screws. I will just use this plastic connectors and then easily can stick them together, cut them to size, put them together and create a very stable framework that is at the end of the day also easy to put together and doesn't take forever. And also it will be easy to dismantle if necessary. Looks like a lot of stuff. I will not need everything, I think, but I definitely need all the connectors I have here. It adds up, but we will see later on. And of course I have the drawer systems. I've bought heavy-duty drawer systems. These ones, for example, are for 200 kilos each. As I mentioned, these have now the stoppers so that they cannot move when we are driving. So it's a much more stable system, I think. I bought these for the top drawer. Then the second drawer here, it's only for 100 kilo each. Then I bought some drawers also to put some smaller drawers into the side of the outdoor kitchen for some stuff like cutlery and so on. But I will show you during the process how it all will work out. For the last few hours, I have been quite busy in measuring everything up, measuring it once, twice, sometimes 3 or 4 times, just to make sure that I have it correct, because it's important that it fits to the millimeter to make sure that the drawer system later on really moves smoothly and that everything is in a right angle and that everything fits in to the confined space we have. The result is that I've now the side panels, which have both a little bit an odd size or odd shape. And the reason for that is that we have to overcome some obstacles with our pull-out kitchen, because it's not a flat bed. And I will show you in a minute what that means. And of course, I've also cut some more bars, which I fit later on in situ onto the side, and also to stabilize the things from side to side. So this is the first step. And I will now double check it that everything fits and show you the obstacles we need to overcome with this before we go to the next step. So here we are back at the place where everything will happen. This is a place for our outdoor kitchen in our cabin, the space which I cleaned up yesterday and then started to build the new kitchen. As you can see, we have a couple of issues here or challenges to overcome. First of all, the floor of our cabin is lower, of course, than the edge of the hatch where we will have the drawers coming out. So we need to overcome this. Not that complicated, but then on top of this, we have the wheel arch in the middle of it. But the wheel arch is not covering the whole area, but only, let's say, a bit more than half of it, which means we also have to accommodate that. And we have the little locking system here, which means that we have to make sure it's high enough and it actually goes over this locking system by maximizing the space. And of course, there's a locking system which goes inside, and that means that also we need to make sure we are far enough backwards from the wall of the cabin to make sure the hatch still closes. And the last challenge is that the car is actually not straight up, but it's a little bit curved, so it inclines, and that means also we have to accommodate for that. Quite a lot of things to be taken into consideration, and therefore I was measuring a lot and making sure that really everything fits. So we have, for example, this side panel now here, which we will put in here. Oops, cables still in there. And we have the other side, which goes in here. Of course, everything needs still to be fixed to the floor. So what I did is I actually drilled large holes into the top with my cone drill, and then a small 6 mm hole at the bottom, because I want to fix these pieces to the floor, and therefore I need to first make sure I prepare the floor so that I can then put an M6 screw into the floor and make it removable. So that I will do very soon, and then I will complete the top before then building actually the slide out kitchen, because this is only the foundation. It's only the starting point just to get going. After I put in all the rivets into the top bars as a foundation to build the rest of the installation on top of it, I've put it in again because I also want to fit a board on this level here where we can store our gas stove, which is quite handy because we have a side door here. So when we stop in the evening or for lunch, we can just open the door, take out the gas oven, put it out on our foldable table, and then we can start cooking some meal. Material for the board, I will use alu debond. Alu debond is a material which is basically a composite material. It has a very thin aluminum layer on either side, and in the middle there's a rubbery plastic core. The product is very stable. It's very light, easy to work with normal tools, and it does not take any moisture in. So it's really ideal for an off-road camper where sometimes you get also quite some humidity and wet stuff in. So it's very stable. It doesn't bend and bow during usage, and it comes in sheets. I think I ordered sheets of 120 by 220 or something like this, and then I cut it to size. And that's what I will do now. I measure up the size here which I need, and then I cut it exactly to fit in here. As you can see, the board is finished and fits in nicely. I need to get rid of the protective film, of course, before I install it, and then I will need to fix it to the crossbars. That will happen a bit later. And to show you now the gas stove fits in here. We will have a wide Velcro strap to fix it so it doesn't move during transportation. We have had this in the same position already for 2 years, drove tens of thousands of kilometers with it. It works really nicely, and the beauty is, as I said before, you can easily remove it, have quick access and store it away, and we are utilizing also all the space we have here. Now that I have cut the foundation of the outdoor kitchen to size, I need to fix the ground bar to the floor. And the floor is a mixture of two different materials. On the one hand, we have plywood, and then on the wheel arch, we have aluminium. So we need to combine two different fixing methods. For the plywood part of the floor, I will use these threads. And for those, I will first drill a hole which is slightly bigger than the internal dimensions of the thread. So this is an M8 thread, and I will drill a hole of 12 millimeters and then screw it in, and afterwards apply the screw. For the aluminium part of the floor, I will use these rivets. And these rivets also have a thread inside. I use M6 for those, and again, I will pre-drill a hole which is slightly bigger than the internal diameter of the rivet, and then I will press the rivet in place using this special tool, and then it should really provide me with a very strong connection between my outdoor kitchen and the metal part of the floor. So overall, this is now a critical phase. I need to put it in very precisely to make sure that all the distances are correct. I have only one shot at this, and let's see how this goes. You can see now I've installed the sidebars, and I've started also to install the crossbars. However, there is a bit of challenge because you need to have space to fix the aluminium profiles together, and obviously on this side there's no space at all. So I had to improvise, as I couldn't use the normal way of installing them. So what I did was I cut open the back side of the aluminium profiles. So if I then turn them around, I can easily slide them onto the connectors from the top. Still, it provides a very stable connection, and I will probably fix it with an additional screw once I've installed it. But that helped me getting around the challenge of having no space to fix them together. The other challenge I had when installing the side panels was that on the left-hand side I drilled into the floor, but unfortunately exactly where I have this bar running, there seems to be a metal supporting bar beneath the timber floor, which means I was struggling getting through it, and therefore had to improvise also there a little bit using shorter screws. It's working and it's fixed, but it was an unexpected issue there. Now I fixed the platform for the gas cooker, which we fixed also with Velcro. And as you can see, I've also reorganized all the cabling here and made it nice and tight, fixing everything together. Step achieved with this, and the next move will now be to increase the height of the base foundation, where I've already installed the riv nuts and prepared the double layer here. So I will now screw all of this together on both sides. And once that is done, I will start installing the first level of drawers, because that will then be the base for the whole outdoor kitchen coming out of the car. And as before, I will actually use rivets again to fix the drawers to the metal bars to give a really strong connection. So finally, I have installed the runners for the drawing system. They are in place, they're all level. It was relatively easy in the end using the rivets, and importantly, they run smoothly now. And very key feature here is the locker. So that's a major improvement compared to our previous system. Now they should not move in heavy off-road driving because of these locker systems and stay in place very securely. They're also very heavy duty. Each of them can take 200 kilograms, so both sides together about 400 kilograms. So it should be very, very stable. The next thing I now have to do is to build a frame that goes inside the runners to then build up the rest of the outdoor kitchen. But that will be for another day. So yesterday was a very busy day, very busy with cutting a lot of metal, cutting wood, drilling holes, putting in rivets and then screwing it all together. And in the end also making sure that the runners are installed in the correct way and everything is nice and level and everything works, and of course the sizes fit together. So very busy, but I'm very happy with this next phase of the project. So one of the reasons why we wanted to rebuild our outdoor kitchen was that initially we did not have stoppers on our runners. So the outdoor kitchen would slide out and would move during driving quite heavily, specifically on heavily corrugated roads. So we wanted to make it more firm and also have stoppers here. So we can have now an outdoor kitchen that is hardly moving at all. It's very, very stable. And we have these outer runners with the stoppers, which we can then slide out. And we have the inner part, which we also can slide out, also protected with stoppers. So we have now a nice, sizable workbench. So the outer kitchen might be a little bit high on this side for some people, but this size is definitely workable. For us, this works fine. We are tall enough, and also for preparing the food and you store things here and you work here, it works really, really nice from our experience. It's similar height than we had before. This one is a little bit higher, 5 centimeters or something like this. Doesn't make a big difference, but we are sure it will work for us quite nicely. And now we still have to work a little bit on it, which means we have to build a frame around this and then put another layer on top of this, which does not slide out. So when we slide out this part, we still have some board there where we can store some things. So that will be the next step, and then we need to do some varnishing. You have maybe seen we had to cut the edges here. Also we reused the timber from before. This is a slightly smaller, so we cut it a little bit, and we need to rework the edges, and also the new board and the top board will be completely fresh, so we need to also varnish this with some oil. That will be done later today. First we need to build, let's say, the little frame, which will now go in and fix to the foundation as well. The other thing we still need to do is build a little drawer. As you can see, we have here 2 more runners installed, where we will build a drawer to tuck away some utensils and stuff, things that always fly around. And it was a bit a tight call with the foldable table here, but it just fits. There's 2 centimeters of space. So that is a nice little additional item we will have in our new kitchen. Then after that, actually, we will be at the end of this project. So let's now get into the final sprint of this long marathon. So now I have cut all the pieces I need for the final layer of our outdoor kitchen. I use the 25mm aluminum profiles again, and I'm using these plastic connectors which come in all different sizes and shapes. This makes sure that you can first of all put them together in a nice right angle, and also because the size is always the same, you have no issues measuring everything up. And then putting them together is quite easily. You just fix them like this, they are together. And also dismantling them is not that difficult. You need to force a little bit of strength, but it's not that much. So it's quite easy to test something out. And that is actually what I will do now. I put it all together. Then I will put it into the car, see that everything fits. I will then mark the locations where I will fix the screws, take it all out again, dismantle it, fix the foundation again into the car, and then add the top on top of it. The outdoor kitchen I will make from wood. I have 6mm plywood here, which I will cut to size in a moment. And I have these 2 lengths of square wood, which I will use as an internal lining to stabilize the walls. It will be a very simple installation, so let's get into it straight away. So, the outdoor kitchen is finished. The job has been completed. And I want to show you quickly how everything now fits together. Of course, you have seen in the video already how the slide-out kitchen works. Specifically the drawers. I'm very happy with the outcome. It's very stable. I think theoretically you could stand on this because this could carry 400 kilograms, but I will not try it out. And then we have this little drawer here. In this drawer we store some plastic bags, garbage bags, aluminium foil and so on. Very handy to have them readily accessible here. So this is our setup when we are traveling. Here we have some little spice containers where we actually put some magnetic stripes on the back of the standard containers, and we have some stickers, some metal stickers inside, and we can just easily put it there and it holds perfectly. Then we have here the area where we store our pots and pans and also our dishes and so on. We have here again a magnet holder which slides over these cups, and then there's another plate in here, so with the magnet it holds. It looks a little bit flexible, but I can tell you we tested it now on some really serious trips over the last few months, and it holds. It stays there. Then we have here our pots, our cutlery, easily removable here. And then what we do with the cutlery actually is that we take it and we can fix it here. And then we can take out the pots. And then the whole bag with the dishes and stuff. We only take what we need in any case. But that is quite practical for us, in our opinion. And then, as you can see, everything is sorry. And as you can see, everything is accessible also from the inside. So if it's really bad weather, we can still handle it. Then here beneath, we have with a Velcro pad fixed the remaining cooking utensils, also with the magnet fixed to this standard bag, and we can just put it on here. So we have everything here close to our cooking setup, and here we have our water kettle, and also here a little bag with our coffee cups. So all in all, for us at least, it is quite a practical setup. We have our cooker here, and then we have the possibility at night to have some lighting. We have here a light which you can switch on, but that doesn't cover a lot of the outside area. So we have this little LED light with a magnet base, and we have a metal strip here, and we can just clip it there, switch it on, and it gives us a nice light here. Let me say a few words about the practicality of having such an outdoor kitchen. Of course, we have a special situation because we had our whole cabin designed to our specification, and one part of it was to have this hatch. That was already in our mind before we even started building this car. Over the years, we had rented a lot of off-road cars in different countries, and when kind of condensing our learnings from all these rentals, we realized that we definitely want to have a slide-out kitchen and be able to cook outside, while at the same time being able to access everything from the inside. You might ask yourself, is this really weatherproof? And I can tell you with this hatch, which is not high-tech, but this hatch has now served us for 45,000 kilometers. We have been driving through a lot of water in Iceland and heavy rain also in Argentina. We had been in snow in the Moroccan Atlas Mountains, and so on and so on. So this car has been exposed to a lot of water, and so far not a drop came inside the car through this hatch. So therefore, I think it has proven itself, and it can be done in other off-road vehicles as well. Of course, we had this already in mind when we designed the cabin, so it's not that easy to fit it into any car retrospectively. However, I think, first of all, if you are thinking about building your own car, you should consider this if you like it, and make sure it's a part of the design process. Or if you have a canopy fixed onto a pickup, then of course you can also install such a kitchen very easily. In the meantime, we have tested our setup quite intensively. It has been a while since I started creating this video, and since we finished it, we drove with the car about 10,000 kilometers through the Balkan Mountains in October, and then also we had 2 months in Spain and Portugal, doing also quite a bit of off-road driving, and everything holds up and everything works for us. We are absolutely satisfied with it, and therefore that part of our car is now complete and will not be touched, I think, for the next few years. And if you like this video, then please do not forget to like it and to subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much, and see you soon!